Good afternoon and welcome to my channel. I would like to invite you to bake with me a cheesecake. Cheesecake with some peaches and a crust. It is the afternoon right now, and as you all know it, I'm from Europe. And it's time for my second coffee, and of course, the cheesecake will go really well with it. Welcome to my channel and thank you for watching. For my crust, I will need 3.5 cups of all-purpose flour, 2.5 sticks of butter, vanilla extract or vanilla sugar, 2 teaspoons of baking powder, and 2/3 of a cup of sugar. And all I do is put it in a bowl and mix it all together. And here is my flour, about 450 grams, which is 3.5 cups. And my butter is cold. Cold butter works best with that kind of a crunchy crust. So what I do is cut it into smaller pieces and put it all in here. I remember my aunt doing this when I was a little girl, and I was always wondering, why is my aunt cutting the butter? Well, now I'm doing the same thing. And now I will put some vanilla extract to it, not too much. 2 teaspoons of my baking powder and my sugar, 1 teaspoon of vanilla sugar with it. And now is the fun part, mixing it all up. And it will take a while because the butter is cold and it needs to warm up in our hands. But again, cold butter for this kind of cake is best. When you work with it a few minutes, it will start coming together nicely. As you can see, it becomes like a crumble at first. Another few more minutes and it will come one nice smooth solid piece. If you have a hard time getting a nice smooth piece like this, dough seems like it's dry, put 2 tablespoons of butter or 2 tablespoons of sour cream, and this will do the trick. It really depends on the flour you are using. I usually use Trader Joe's or King's Arthur flour, but I have bought some organic brand I don't know, and it was just horrible. I did not make a really nice dough with it, or even pierogies dough. I gave it to my daughter to play with it as a play-doh because it was so bad. So it really depends on the flour. All flours are not created equal. So I have divided my dough into 2 parts, bigger and smaller. The bigger one will go on the bottom of my cheesecake. The smaller one will go in the fridge because I need it cold. I will shred it once my cheesecake butter is ready. This will go on top of my cheesecake and I will shred it just like I shred a cheese. So cold will work much better. So wrap it around in foil and put it in the fridge. For my wonderful peach cheesecake, I will need 6 eggs, 1 cup of sugar, 1 cup of yogurt, 1 stick of butter, 1 package of vanilla pudding, 1 teaspoon of vanilla sugar, and my cheese is about 3 pounds total. I have 4 packages of farmer's cheese and 2 packages of Philadelphia cream cheese and a can of peaches. One important thing, everything should be room temperature, so take it out of the fridge couple hours before you actually make that cheesecake. I will start with my eggs and sugar. I need a bowl for that, so that will go here. I will mix it until it is very foamy and very creamy. And in my KitchenAid, I will have all the cream cheese, butter and yogurt. Once both of those are done, I will combine them together. So why am I separating the ingredients here? If I want my cheesecake to be more fluffy, that's what I want to do. If I want my cheesecake to be more condensed, so the texture here, I can put it all together and mix it in just one KitchenAid and be done. But I want it more on a fluffy, puffy side. That's why I want to beat the eggs first and then combine all the ingredients after. So here is my sugar, my eggs. And to this, I will add my 1 teaspoon of vanilla sugar. And this is almost done. You can see how nice and fluffy and creamy it looks like. 1 more minute and this part is done. And now it is time for my cheese. I have farmer's cheese in here with some vanilla sugar, and I will mix it for a little bit. And after a minute or two, I will start putting my cream cheese in. And if I see my cheese on the edges, I want to clean it around to make sure everything is mixed together. In a little bit, I'll start putting my yogurt in. This recipe is for a bigger cheesecake because it's time for holidays, and holidays mean lots of guests over. So that's why it is a bigger piece. But if you want a smaller piece just for you, then divide everything in half and make a smaller one, half the size. So it's time for the yogurt to go in. And again, after a while, clean the edges to be sure that everything is mixed together. Next goes butter, and after butter, the vanilla pudding powder. So my last couple of minutes of mixing, I want to get my pan ready. My pan is about 9.5, 13.5 inches. And what I need to do is preheat the oven and get my bottom crust pre-baked for like 15 minutes or so. So I have my crust and I want to punch some holes here for just a more crispy, airy crust. And while I'm preheating my crust, I will need to drain all the juices out of the peaches. Best part is to try it. Delicious. So my oven is at 375 and I will put this in for 15 minutes. And it's been 15 minutes, so it's time to take the crust out. Every oven is different, so here, if you can see the brownish on the edges, that means it is ready. Finally, we can put it all together. Even it out as much as you can. And I would suggest to put a dish, like a big cookie sheet underneath, just in case it overflows while baking, because cheesecakes do tend to double the volume while baking and then collapse a little bit. If you don't want your oven messy, just put a cookie sheet underneath. And now my peaches. And the last part is shredding the other piece of that crust on top of the cheesecake. And this is why cold crust is best for shredding it. And the edges always get less, so I try to get the edges and the middle part is easier. Almost done here. The cheesecake is going to bake for about 1 hour 20 minutes at 350. So lower the temperature to 350. And once hour and 20 minutes passes, don't open the drawers to your oven. Leave the cheesecake in there for at least half an hour so it doesn't collapse too much. Cheesecake needs to lose its temperature slowly to stay on more delicate, puffier side. So again, lower the temperature from 375 to 350. And now, hour 20 minutes. Once hour 20 minutes passes, turn it off, leave it for half an hour. After half an hour, take a wooden spoon or anything you have, open the drawers just a little bit, block it with that spoon, and another half an hour. After that, you can take it out. That way, the cheesecake won't collapse so much. And here is my cheesecake with peaches. It's still warm, so I can't really cut a nice straight piece, but I cut some out just to show you the inside of it. Once it cools off completely, then I can cut a nice straight piece and then show you. We can put the... Oh, my goodness, what happened here? Not enough muscle. Oh gosh. Well, my husband worked with it last time and he must have. Oh. So finally we can put it all together.